Hi everyone, my name is Crystal Zuniga and I'll be presenting hashtag Black Lives Matter as a social justice in middle school classrooms. What is hashtag Black Lives Matter? It's understanding both the input of Black and Brown people in America, as well as the struggles and chains of institutional racism. It's using our voice to protect and stand for equality, and it's providing social justice to minority groups. What is social justice? It's the fair and proper administration of laws conforming to the natural law that all persons, irrespective of ethnic origin, gender, possessions, race, religion, etc., are to be treated equally and without prejudice. Here I'm going to be showing you guys a quick video of a social justice in education and why it's important.
Social justice is for everyone. It's a way to make sure that we're all seen as human beings, that we're all equitably treated. I think it's really just educating. Growing up in a more diverse background, I've learned about a lot of different people, and I've grown to be compassionate and to really want to make the world a better place.
I think it's a Mother Teresa quote that talks about true power is quiet. Most change may involve loud, boisterous talk, but true change is quiet change.
Kids in urban settings, a lot of them, either their fathers aren't there or they don't have that male to look up to. That was a big part of my decision to become a teacher, be that positive male influence in their life, because students don't always get that, and I think it's needed.
For me, social justice in the classroom is very different than the one-shot celebration of Cinco de Mayo or putting the poster up on Martin Luther King Day. I challenge them to push past those superficial treatments of culture and get to the real depth of students' identities. It's about extremely high expectations for students, maintaining that at all costs.
You've got to get people in the right places to help make some of these important decisions. The door's been cracked open, but we need more people with the credentials and the skills to help make those decisions. And sometimes when you're the only person in the community, for you to stand up, you don't have a lot of people to have your back because they haven't walked in your shoes.
Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to be teaching students how to walk in the shoes of Black and Brown people in America. So let's get started. Why is hashtag Black Lives Matter a social justice issue? Black and Brown Americans still suffer police violence. Here are some facts. About 1,000 people have died from police shootings since 2015. Currently, there has been 363 killings by police in 2019. Why teach about hashtag Black Lives Matter? Teaching social justice on Black and Brown Americans will allow students to make a positive change in the world. It will expose students to real-world issues happening outside of the classroom. It will connect with students and support them by sharing their perspectives. It builds a classroom community, authentic assessment, and teaches students about aspects of life that they may not have been touched or affected by. It's making a change and helping our students understand that we're all equal and that we should all be treated equally. Here's some data of the Greenfield Union School District. We currently have a number of Black students, which holds 656, a number of Hispanic students, which is 7,592, and the number of white students, which is 632. As you can see from this data, there's a higher number of Black and Hispanic or Brown students in the Union School District. So because of this, it's very important that we teach and that we have our students be exposed to real world issues or hashtag Black Lives Matter. So how are we going to implement Black Lives Matter into the classroom? Well, it's important for students to understand justice, representation, social issues, and culture. Using young adult literature in the curriculum is one way. We'll be using that through discussion, activities, and literature circles. Here's the activity that's going to be the introduction of hashtag Black Lives Matter. So first, what is justice? Justice is treating everyone fairly under established rules and laws. An example is the classroom rules apply to everyone. Representation. Here are some examples to ask your students to collaborate in their groups and then share out as a full class about what is representation and how it is in hashtag Black Lives Matter. So it says here, what events represent social justice to you? Does everyone have fair representation? Why or why not? How would you give representation of social justice? Here are some major social issues in America currently: poverty, healthcare, racial profiling, immigration laws, gun control, climate change. Learning about racial profiling through reading, and racial profiling will be what we use for our hashtag Black Lives Matter lecture. So it says here, we will be reading a book that will expand our learning about different cultures and social justice experiences, the good and the bad. We'll participate in a read aloud. We'll participate in 2 literature circle discussion rules, which I will get to in a few. And at the end, the students will create a hashtag Black Lives Matter poster with a group reflection writing piece. Here's an example of a young adult literature read aloud. It's called The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Here's a quick introduction about the book. It's about a 16-year-old Star Carter moves between 2 worlds, the poor neighborhood where she lives and the fancy suburban prep school she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend, Khaled, at the hands of a police officer. Khaled was unarmed. Here are the activities for The Hate You Give. Students will complete 2 literature circle roles with groups of 5. 1 role for each half of the book. Students will switch roles after the second half of reading the book. Students will share out their roles with their groups and then come together as a whole class to share out. At the end of the book, students will create a hashtag Black Lives Matter poster with their group with a reflection to explain what is hashtag Black Lives Matter and share their learning, knowledge, and how can they make a positive change in the world. Students will then present this poster and the reflection to the whole class. At the very end, students will watch a movie. Let's go ahead and look into the literature circle roles. Okay. So for this first role here, we have the discussion director. Your job is to develop a list of questions that your group might want to discuss about this part of the book. So the first half or the second half. Don't worry about the small details. Your task is to help people talk over the big ideas in reading and share their reactions. Usually the best discussion questions come from their own thoughts, feelings, and concerns as you read. You can list these questions before, during, or after your reading, or you may use some of the general discussion questions below to develop topics for your group. So here the students will discuss some questions or topics of half of the book. Then at the very end of each circle role, they will have a self-evaluation in which they will rate themselves from 1 through 5. How well were they prepared? How well did they participate? Do they deserve full credit? Why or why not? Okay, here we have the literacy luminary. Your job is to locate a few special sections of the text that your group would like to hear read aloud. The idea is to help people remember some interesting, powerful, funny, puzzling, or important sections of the text. You decide which passages or paragraphs are worth hearing, and then jot plans for how they should be shared. You can read them aloud and ask yourself or someone else to read them, or have people read silently and then discuss. So here you have the page number and the paragraph, and then you'll give your reasons for picking them and plan for sharing. At the very end, you have your self-evaluation. Then we have the connector. Your job is to find connections between the book your group is reading and the world outside. This means connecting it to your own life, to happenings outside school or in the community, to similar events in other times and places, to other people or problems that you are reminded of. You might also see connections between this book and other writings on the same topic or by the same author. So here they'll write in 3 connections that they found between the book and outside sources. Then they'll do their self-evaluation. Okay, then we have the word wizard. Your job is to be on the lookout for words that may be unusual, puzzling, or unfamiliar. Try to figure out their meaning from the context clues around the words. Look up the words in a dictionary and discuss them with an adult. Write a definition in your own words. Make sure that you understand the words before you meet with your group. Lead your group through a discussion of the words and their meanings. So here, they will choose 3 words, page number, what they believe the word is using context clues, and then they'll actually look up the definition and write the correct definition there. And self-evaluation at the end. All right, and our last one here is the illustrator, or also called the mapper. And your job is to draw some kind of picture or thinking map related to the section. You can draw a sketch, cartoon, diagram, or any kind of graphic organizer. You can illustrate something that's discussed specifically in the book, or something that the reading reminded you of, or a picture that conveys an idea or feeling you got from the reading. Make your illustration on another sheet of paper and attach it to this one before handing in this assignment. So what's going to happen is they're going to have a presentation plan. And in their plan, you have to show your illustration without comment to others in the group. One at a time, they will get to speculate what your picture means, to connect the drawing to their own ideas about the reading. After everyone has had a say, you get to say the last word. Tell them what your picture means, where it came from, and what it represents to you. Here down below, you will add your comments to share to your group. So give the reasons why you drew that illustration. What does it mean to you? What part of the story does it represent? And then at the very end, you'll add your self-reflection. All right, so those are the literature circle roles that students will be doing. Again, in the literature circle roles, there will be 2 of them, one for half of the book and then another one for the last half of the book. And students will just take turns in the literature circle roles. Alrighty, let's move on. Okay. Alright, here we're going to watch the Hate U Give movie trailer. This book does have a movie attached to it, which is super exciting because not only are the students going to build an imagination about when they're reading the book and really understand the details about Black and brown Americans and in America and their social justice stand through the book, but they'll also be able to see the story in life, in reality, through a movie, which is an amazing movie. And here is a trailer. Let's go ahead and take a look.
You coming at me for my music, but you listen to this old stuff.
Old stuff? What? Better get up out of here with all that. Pockets the truth.
Well, I got a boyfriend.
Yeah, I heard. It's all good.
Really?
We've been together our whole lives, stuff. We got time.
My name is Star. 2 R's. Daddy named me that. Garden Heights. Mama and Daddy says our life is here because our people are here. We got Mr. Rubin's barbecue, Mr. Lewis's barbershop, and Daddy's store. The high school is where you go to get jumped, hide, or pregnant.
We don't go there. Williamson is another world, so when I'm here, I'm Star version 2.
Yo, those kids are lit.
Basically, Williamson Star doesn't give anyone a reason to call her ghetto, and I hate myself for doing it. Until the weekend comes around.
I get those goosebumps every time.
What's up? Where you been at? I don't know. You be hanging with all the white kids.
Out of the car. Yo, stop. You okay?
Go back where he told you. Khalil, I'm not playing. Go back where... What did you do?
Today, Garden Heights is reeling after the shooting of a 17-year-old black teenager by a white police officer.
We live in a complicated world.
It doesn't seem that complicated to me.
Violence, brutality. It's the same story, just a different name.
When I attack with impact, it's real tactful. The back cat waited and sat, debated.
It's best if she don't talk to Father.
He's threatening her.
It's about more than just Khalil. It's about black people, poor people, everybody at the bottom. I need to speak for him.
You think we can never achieve the inconceivable. We don't belong where we here.
When you ready to talk, you talk. Don't ever let nobody make you be quiet. I ain't named you Star by accident.
All right, so this movie is amazing. I've watched it myself, but it is going to be a movie where you will need parent permissions. All right, let's move on. All right, so here are some other books with relation to hashtag Black Lives Matter. We have Dear Martin over here. We have Tyler Johnson Was Here, All American Boys, and On the Come Up. These books are very popular. They are actually very brand new to the 21st century, and they're also great readings for social justice in Black and Brown Americans. There's also other books online if you want to check out some more. Here are my sources that I used for my presentation. And last but not least, thank you so much for watching my video.